Hello, dear polymer clay enthusiasts. I'm Michaela from Learn Polymer Clay, and I'm back with more inspiration for your work with polymer clay. Today's tutorial is in fact a revamped one. I realized, thanks to Erika's feedback, that I had one tutorial that I made some time ago that would still be interesting and perfect for the Easter inspiration, but that was not great as it was. So, because I hope you'll find inspiration for your work with polymer clay in this tutorial, and because I think you might be interested in Easter inspiration for your projects, I have prepared a new and improved version of the tutorial. So, let's dive into the tutorial. So, I'm working with a Cernit Shiny Blue. And the first thing I used liquid polymer clay, and I coated the craft egg with liquid polymer clay. And then I am going to apply a sheet of polymer clay, and I'm using Cernit Shiny Blue. And for this base layer, I mixed it with some blue scrap clay to make sure I would have enough shiny blue for the project, so this layer is not going to be visible in the final design, which means I can use a little bit of blue scrap clay. And then you'll just have to use your roller to make an even surface on the decorated egg. And then I'm going to use the Satin slice technique, which is a technique developed by Lisa Pavelka. And for this technique you will need a texture sheet with a deep texture, and I'm using in fact the Lisa Pavelka texture sheet called Paisley. And you'll just have to press the polymer clay into the texture sheet, and then you'll just have to use your blade. Lisa Pavelka uses the flexible blade. I'm using the rigid blade, and you'll just have to slice off the excess clay until you see the lines of the textured design, and you will have polymer clay trapped inside the texture sheet. So you'll just have to remove the excess clay, as I said, and you can use this scrap clay and push it in other areas on the texture sheet and scrap some more, and then you'll have enough polymer clay trapped inside the texture sheet so that you will be able to decorate a larger sheet of polymer clay. So then I am going to use a sheet of polymer clay that I previously conditioned and passed through a medium setting of my pasta machine, or even lower than medium. And then I'm going to put this sheet of polymer clay on top of the texture. I'm going to press the polymer clay well into the texture sheet, and in the same time I am in fact collecting the embossed pieces of polymer clay trapped inside the texture sheet. And you can lift off the polymer clay a little bit to see if you manage to capture all the details. And in case you notice that you have elements of design that you would like to have on your textured polymer clay sheet, you can press the polymer clay into the texture sheet again and capture those details as well. I'm going to make two such decorated polymer clay sheets, and I'm going to use the satin slice and the same steps to make the second piece. And then I'm going to use another sheet of polymer clay, properly conditioned and passed through a medium setting of my pasta machine. Anyway, if you decide to go for a lower setting, you should use the same setting for all these polymer clay sheets. And then I just used some gold foil and I pressed it into the polymer clay, and I used my fingers to burnish it into the polymer clay. And then using the same rigid blade, I'm going to cut thin strips of polymer clay. And you should cut, I don't know, a lot of such strips, because we are going to use them to decorate the central front part of the egg, as well as the back of the egg. And then I just took the decorated craft egg, and I'm going to use the first embossed piece of polymer clay decorated with the satin slice technique. I've made a freeform oval-like shape, and I'm going to use this textured sheet of polymer clay to decorate the side of the egg. So I'm using the blade to remove the excess clay. I will do the same for the second textured sheet of polymer clay. So I'm making a freeform oval-like shape that I think will fit the side of the egg. And as I said, for the center we are going to use the gold foil decorated strips to make an interesting design on the back and on the front as well. And then I just took a foil decorated strip and I applied it all around the textured polymer clay piece to make like a beautiful border for the textured decorated piece. And I'm using all the time my craft knife to cut nice edges for these foil decorated strips. I will do the same for the second textured polymer clay, let's say oval area. And I'm cutting off the end of the strip so that I will have a nice joining ends when these strips join together. And then I just decided to use a foil decorated strip and to roll it into a spiral, and then I applied the spiral in the, let's say, in the center of the craft egg. And I will continue to apply another strip of foil decorated polymer clay piece, and then I will just use these foil decorated strips to embellish the gap between the two textured areas from the sides, and I'm just applying them on top of the spiral. I am going to apply them underneath the spiral, and then for the back I will repeat the same steps. I'm going to make a spiral using the foil decorated strip, Then I will use a second strip to enlarge the spiral, and then I will just use strips of foil decorated polymer clay to decorate the gap, the area between the two textured polymer clay pieces. And then I am going to use orange gold mica powder and the Q-tip to enhance the beautiful pattern. So I'm taking the time to enhance the beautiful details made with the texture sheet and the Lisa Pavelka paisley texture sheet with the depths that will allow you to make beautiful satin slice designs, and you can tweak this technique. You can use a different color for the base polymer clay sheet. You can apply more colors on top of the texture sheet, so there are plenty of possibilities for the satin slice technique. Then I decided to use a little bit of I think it's called russet blue pearl-X mica powder, and I decided to use this color, which in my opinion looks a little bit like a Bordeaux color, because I am going to apply small rhinestones that are red, and I'm going to use a Swarovski crystal to decorate the center of the egg. And I thought that this russet color would enhance the look of the egg and will make it really look like a Faux Fabergé egg. And then I'm just going to play with the rhinestones and the Swarovski crystal. I'm just using my hands and I'm pressing the tiny rhinestones into the polymer clay, and I am embellishing parts of the paisley design. So I'm following the lines of the paisley design, which is very easy to do. I already have a beautiful texture design on my piece, so now all I have to do is follow those lines and enhance the beauty of those lines by applying tiny rhinestones. And after baking the piece, I am going to use my craft knife and take them off and use weld bond adhesive to glue them permanently into the piece, even though this is not a piece that you are going to wear. So for a decorative piece, I don't know, it's easier to keep those tiny stones in place, but I would still prefer gluing them to make sure that they are secured inside the polymer clay piece. So then you'll just have to play with tiny rhinestones and apply them on top of the design wherever you want them to sit. I like adding little accents to my pieces, and for this Fabergé egg idea, applying these tiny rhinestones seemed like a very good idea. And then I'm just going to use the Swarovski crystal to add the final element of design of my piece. And in order to be able to apply the Swarovski crystal on top of the piece, I am going to use my craft knife, and I'm going to remove the center of the spiral that I created using foil decorated strips. And then I'm going to use such foil decorated strips to embed the crystal into a frame that is going to keep it in place. So as I said, I'm using the craft knife to remove part of the spiral, and then I'm going to press the Swarovski crystal inside the base layer of polymer clay. And I'm very careful not to distort the design on the decorated egg, and in the same time, because I'm not using gloves, I'm very careful not to leave fingerprints on top of my piece. You might consider using gloves for this polymer clay piece to ensure that you won't have fingerprints on your finished design. Then, as I said, I used foil decorated strips to make a frame that will keep the crystal in place. And I will use several foil decorated strips to make a frame around the crystal, and this will enhance the beauty of the design as well, and will secure the crystal in place. I'm sorry for this part of the video being out of focus. I'm filming myself, and sometimes I don't know where the focus of the camera is. I hope you are still able to understand the steps of the process. And then I just used Aztec gold mica powder, pearlex mica powder, to color these foil decorated strips of polymer clay, because there were areas where the foil I don't know, lifted off. So I used gold mica powder to make sure that I have a frame, a golden beautiful frame around the Swarovski crystal. And then when you are happy with the look of the piece, you can bake it for 45 minutes at the temperature recommended by the polymer clay manufacturer. Then you'll have to let it cool down. And then I'm just going to use well-bond adhesive, and I am going to glue the tiny rhinestones into the piece. I'm using a needle tool to take off the rhinestones. You can use your craft knife as well. And I will do this for all the tiny rhinestones. You don't have to do this for the Swarovski crystal, because the frame we've made around the crystal is going to keep it in place. And then I am going to finish the design by applying Cernit transparent varnish to protect the mica powder. And keep in mind that when you are using, and the foil, of course, keep in mind that when you are using mica powders and metallic foils to decorate your design, you should use varnish to protect your designs. And this shiny transparent varnish will add a subtle shine to the finished design as well. So this is the Easter inspired project, and this is the revamped version of it. I hope that you liked the tutorial. I hope that you are inspired to make Easter inspired polymer clay pieces. Please press the like button if you like the tutorial. Please share your impressions with me, and stay tuned for more polymer clay inspiration for your work with polymer clay. Thank you.